Welcome to Effortless Being, where it takes no effort just to be. I have two guests with me on the line. Hello, everyone. Jenson over there to my left, Bo down below. How's everybody today?
Hello, everyone.
I was just saying before we recorded, you never know what's going to come up on the Effortless Being panel calls. Like, could be me here talking by myself. Could have one person, two, seven. You just never know what wants to arise. And when I send out the invitation, it's like, if you feel the pull, come. If not, that's okay too. Because what we are is already whole and complete, right? The beingness is full, right? It's whole, it's complete, it's abundant already. We don't need to add anything to it. We don't have to strive or has to be a certain way because this beingness is always here and it's silent. Even the silence, the space between the words is that's what it is. That's why I hear a lot of these speakers, like, have you noticed that? Like when they're talking, like Eckhart Tolle or some of these other ones, like you can tell they talk slow. It's almost like the silence is what's speaking or doing, because that's where you really feel the unity consciousness, right? Because it's coming from the essence. Have you guys noticed that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Some people aren't comfortable with the silence, though. Do you notice that? Like, it's almost like you're sitting with yourself as the silence.
I love it's I'm still trying to get used to being more myself in that way when I talk to others. But like I can sense that some individuals, they're like, get to the point, you know?
Yeah. It's
But
almost like
like
you
like you
gotta,
said, yeah.
yeah. No, it's like you gotta
No,
use intuition. Like you just never know. Like it's almost like intuition comes through. It's like, okay, you should probably say something because I can tell they're feeling a little uncomfortable. But it's almost like sometimes I like to just sit there with it because it's almost like it's like the silence speaking to the silence, like consciousness speaking to itself. And it's like, that's where the realization comes is like when you're right there, like the silence. It's like, oh, wait a second. The looking, that's what this is.
yeah.
Are we comfortable with the silence? Those listening, that may be listening to us are something. It's a good question to ask. Are we comfortable with the silence? Do we feel whole and complete and abundant? Do we know, what we truly are? Or do we think we're just this separate person that's broken that needs to be fixed?
Can we do something like I've just been feeling sort of out of sorts lately as an individual. So, can we do something where we just kind of review the basics, like the good basic stuff of what we know to be true? I mean, I know it, but it's like somehow sometimes when I'm like when the body is behind or it's been marred with things, it's like lagging to catch up to like, oh yeah, I'm fine.
You know,
You know?
it's funny when I do calls with Jensen sometimes. He'll be like, we'll get on the call and I'll just pause and I'll be like, you know, just be like, how do you just like just drop into the I make like the show like I'll just drop like right into the silence, right? And then you see like the body mind trying to it kind of just the nervous system or something, just trying to catch up with the being in the silence that brings it all that unites it. But yeah, we can do whatever. So what would you guys say is the basics of this? I mean, the
Yeah,
basics of
I'm
this. What would you say? We'll go to Jensen. What do you think? What do you say like if somebody asks you, what are the basics of this?
I would say all there is to an experience is knowing and being, not something to be known, not a person who knows, just knowing and being. And it's not the easiest thing to understand because we're usually focused on the forms or the contents or things. But you realize the knowing, the being was always there. It was always present and it has never changed. And that knowing and that being is whole and complete. And you don't need anything else uh, as a form to complete you. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Beautiful. I have one more person looking to join. Let me just admit that. You just never know what's going to happen on these calls. Hi, Sid. Good morning.
Morning.
Hey, Sid.
Bowen, I get to see you again in
Yeah.
Jenson.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hello.
yay!
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 So
What
Jensen,
have
share with Sid. Share
you
with
been
Sid.
to? What's going on?
We're doing good. We dropped
So
into
it's all
sleep.
about just back to the basics.
Yeah. Bo brought up, let's
And
get back to the basics. And then I said, okay, Jensen, tell us the basics. And then Jensen was expressing beautifully the basics.
and I just said all there is to an experience is knowing and being, not a person who knows, not something to be known. Just knowing and being is always there and is inherently full and complete.
Beautiful. What do you think, Bo? What would you say the basics? If somebody asked you.
I kind of go directly to, I don't know why, but physical space somehow does it for me. Like I just the first things usually that come out of I usually and I barely that someone on the street is like, hey, tell me about your nature, but I would probably say you are this invisible thing that is like here and here and here and there, but somehow it feels like you're in this body only. It feels so convincing, but I don't know. It's very hard to, and I just woke up too. Sorry, the brain is
Something said,
still.
so did I. Jensen's been up the
brain-
longest because he's in the other part of the world. He's in South Korea. What is it? What is it there, Jensen? It's nighttime?
It's 8:50 p.m.
8:30.
Oh, okay.
I think I rolled out of
Yeah.
bed at 7. How about you, Sid? You had a rough night, huh? You did, yeah. Funny how we're all like different
So,
energy
yeah.
levels, you know? We just don't know, how consciousness wants to come through these vessels, these bodies, and it's okay, right? No matter where we're at, it's fine. Everything's fine. I mean, it's part of the human experience, right? And consciousness express how it wants to express, and it makes it real too. There's people watching this. They're thinking. Some people think, oh, awakening or knowing your true nature, self-realize. Then you're just sitting in bliss all the time. That's not what it is. You still have the full range of human emotions. We're still having the human experience, and it's okay. You know, there's no shame or diminishing of what this is. This is still whole and complete. It's still shining right here in the background, the silence of being, stainless awareness. Sid, did you want to say anything about the basics of what this is?
Oh, oh yes, I have the answer.
Hmm.
Or
Do tell.
I do. Can I say I got oh I have the answer. It's just this one thing. I love your word shiny, Rob. Shiny. It's like it brings me to songs, shiny people and shiny. Oh, and okay, before I say it, like again, knowing in Jenson's knowing and being inherently full and complete. I mean, I love that. I mean, bam, knowing and being inherently
Bam.
full and complete. Bam. um, Bowen's is more. It's like I'm on psychedelics with Bowen's. It's here. It's here. It's here. It's there. It's like, what? No, no, here, here. Uh, and then mine's like I maybe that's why I'm like barely awake this morning. I was sitting with this morning. I was sitting with this last night. Just the what am I being? To go maybe going more to the inquiry side of it. But I've become fascinated with what am I being? Um, because I'm making a presentation in a couple weeks. The bliss of being bliss. And I'm trying to figure out how to point to that. And so I'm really intrigued with what are we being. So that's my long answer, but I think I that's my long answer.
Yay. Let's help him out, Jensen and Bo. How can we support Sid? He's got this presentation coming up and he wants to point to this being of bliss.
Reminds me of the book Bliss Brain. Have you heard of that one? I wish I could tell you who the author was, but I feel like he is or was a friend of Joe Dispenza's. But I remember he talked about the default mode network, which is the part of the brain that loves to just ramble on, and it's very separate identity, me kind of part of the brain. And the acronyms are DMN. So he would be like, just remember it's the demon of you. Um, but it was a matter of just letting that be, like not entertaining it. Not, I mean, same thing that we do when we not accept the invitation or whatever we want to call it, but letting that part of the brain do its thing and not engage until it kind of detaches from the attention and, you know, gets subtle. But that's just what I thought of when you said bliss.
Love that. Jensen, anything coming through?
Yeah, I think we all struggle with the idea that bliss is our true nature because normally we are addicted to our suffering, so we don't have that space for us to be what we are, which is bliss. But once we stop chasing happiness outside of us, uh, bliss can arise effortlessly. And but you really need to let go of that notion that the external things will make you happy. And if you can drop that, it's just bliss.
Felt that. You feel that, right? When it goes to the silence, that's behind the words, what's underneath all of this, you know, the presence that's hold the container, whatever that's holding it together, that itself, when that's, looked at or realized, it's whole, it's complete, it's not outside. There's no outside to this. This is, container sort of holding everything, and everything within it is consciousness. And it feels whole and complete here. But communicating that, like Sid's, getting up, he does presentations to people, and he's talking to people, and we don't know, where they're at, like, what their backgrounds are, what they're into. And so how do you, like, if you're dealing with a general audience, like, what's the best way for consciousness to express? He does a lot of things even too with red and blue, like in the political arena, and goes to churches and talks to people, trying to help them unite, or something, or realize what this is, in a practical way, infusing it into the human experience. But I like what you said, Jenson, about how the happiness isn't outside of us. If we can get people to see that, that's a really good pointer. Because a lot of times they're looking outside themselves, not realizing that they're already whole and complete, that they are the peace that they're looking for. They're trying to get the peace outside themselves by saying, I believe this, I believe that. But if they drop all belief and just rest as this, it's right here. But how does that work with consciousness? With people to realize that. I mean, for me, it was just a pointer, David Bingham saying, hey, you are the infinite being, having a human experience. When I heard that, that's what it was for me. But other people have heard that and be like, Rob, that didn't do anything for me. So you just don't, you don't know. And I talk to lots of people, and they all have different stories about how this comes about. And then, so it just gets to the point where even when David was saying this, like, he used to write letters and send people, or send them the recording of the John Wheeler tape, thinking, because that's what it was for him. When I first started out, I started telling everybody, you're the infinite being having a human experience. What do you mean? And they look at me like, what? And with David, with John Wheeler, was like, people looking at him like, nobody really responded. And then he had the realization that, what we are is effortless being. So it'll just naturally come to us with ease. People will come to us. We make what do you say? We make ourselves available. And this has been true for me here, is you make yourself available, and then you speak truth from beingness, and then those that will resonate will come into your space of beingness effortlessly. It's almost like infinite intelligence is behind the scenes, like organizing it all and doing it and bringing them to you. So by the time they get here, it's like they already have like this opening or something, and then it's just like something comes through and speaks, and then it happens, like you said, like naturally or something. Have you guys seen that? Or uh
I just had the funnest idea of, like, if all of us were speaking, like, we'd all say, you are the infinite being having a human experience, but we'd all say it in like different ways of saying it, or different tones, and it just kind of keeps going and echoing. We're just going to keep saying it until you hear this.
I also think it's like a frequency matching thing, where it's very intuitive. So like, the one that's so like, even when Bowen starts to talk about true nature to someone who's curious, Bowen's not really talking. I mean, if Bowen's talking, then it's not going to do anything. It's just going to be a bunch of, past stuff that's been said, and she's just repeating stuff that she thinks she knows. But if I kind of, like we talked about, we kind of rest in that. I mean, it's all consciousness anyways, but sometimes consciousness can play, picking up the shadow person and just making her talk. But if we just sort of sit back, there's witnessing that happens where I'm like, oh, I'm saying things that I wouldn't normally say, but there's an intelligence here that knows exactly what to say according to who's asking. And for you, Sid, for the crowd that you'll be with, I think it'll just be a matter of tuning into the room. Like, I mean, really just very basic, elementary, like tapping into the frequency and just knowing, trusting that your true self has your back and exactly how to say it, when to say it, how it's gonna flow. I mean, I'm sure that's how you carry on these talks anyway. You kind of prepare to some extent and then you let go and you surrender, you know?
It's so esoteric, and it's also so, like they say, this is closer to you than your very breath. And that's where it gets, it's so tricky, so tricky.
But who's saying it's tricky? I think that's Sid's mind, the computer Sid. But
Somebody
it's
say
not
that.
tricky.
She said it. I didn't say
That's
it.
funny. What'd you say, Rob?
She said it. I didn't say it. I know sometimes the ego gets, oh, it's exposing me. I'm going to disappear.
That's cool that you have these talks, so
Isn't it cool?
yeah, that
Tell us more
sounds
about what you do, Sid. I think that because Jenson and Bo don't really know some spaces that you work with.
Well, this is a group called Perfectly Okay, and they're actually, you guys might enjoy this place. They came out of there's a guy that interviewed 2,000 people who shifted to kind of deepening in this, and he interviewed them as an academic and then developed a program. It's like, well, how do we help people shift? What are the technologies that are most helpful? Like kind of what Rob was saying. What's most helpful to this? And I never did his program, but somehow lots of people who are speaking about this, it's the most, it's the, it's the sangha that I found that has the most people that are talking the way we're talking right here. And so but even with them, I am presenting this because here's what I find, that a lot of folks, we miss the embodied yumminess of it. We get to know the space, the infinite spaciousness. We get to know the sense of the oneness. But what is that? They call it. They say the Satchitananda. The very nature of that is bliss. The nature of what we are is bliss. Like, okay, that sounds really good. I think I want the cookie. I love ice cream. I want the ice cream. I want that. How do we find that? And so, but we have a lot of folks that stop at this. They go to the other place, the absolute emptiness. And so I guess with this one, I'm really curious about how deeply can we know the bliss of our humanity? How deeply can we enjoy? You don't want to be like, I mean, I keep thinking about myself with an ice cream cone and like going someplace else or going into emptiness. No, I just want to enjoy the ice cream cone. And so it's become a theme in the last week, that thing. But then I do, like, I enjoyed, Bowen, your default mode network, and there's a sense of, right, as we work with people, it's often helping the discernment between this and that, Sid in his mind that just keeps going, and this that's always here. And so I work with people. I'm kind of diving into the kind of the world of the division in the United States right now, and helping us refine and just pointing to kind of the beauty of our humanity that pervades it all, as we get lost in these strategies for happiness and different strategies, and that's the division. And like beneath that all, you could say, is what Jenson was saying. You just find that the happiness that's intrinsic, or just the nature of our humanity that's intrinsic. I do a lot of conflict resolution, and then I sometimes I frame it within, I work within which I spoke with Bowen about, the IFS community, which is just another way of almost discerning between the default network, in that, then there's this that's always here. But then I'll just say one more piece, which is just even, you got these people, they say the direct path. That way, it's just a direct path. Just go right to this. Or they call it the pathless path. Like there's no place to go. You already are this. And so that becomes interesting too. And I think about that as I work with people with this bliss. Like, do we really have to find that bliss that's a neti? It's not all of that. It's not when Sid is in his mind and there's a robot. It's like what's beneath all of that. We also can go to what pervades robot Sid, what pervades the mind, what is inseparable from all of it. And that is not, because we don't want to have any sense of specialness in this game. Like, hey, but look at Rob, he's this, right? But look at the angry person on the street. They're this too. It's like as we see that as it really pervades, and we touch the joy of life, the bliss of being, the dance of Leela, the heaven on earth stuff that people point to, it gets to be all of us. So I'm playing with all of it, and it's just really interesting which flavor we share as we present this, or we're pointing to bliss. It's like, how are we pointing? Or we're going to do the default network game, which I do a lot. That's the essence of a lot of the IFS is that discernment. But also, when I do that, I try to always do the Dorothy, you're already home. You don't have to follow the yellow brick road. Shazam.
I love that. Shazam.
Shazam. Sid, you're perfect for those audiences, though. I mean, people got to fall in love with you. You got the perfect Sid personality to be in front of people, and I don't know, you have like that something. I don't know. It's good though. You're in the right spot. Consciousness will come through and express at the right time.
Thank you, Rob. And I still think it'll be super cruise, super fun. I keep getting say cruise. There it is. Like a year from now, it'd be fun to invite all of our friends to come and be like, we're all co-presenters on this. You are with the Jensons. You are knowing and being inherently full and complete, and have an event if it's on land or on sea, and invite anybody who wants to come. We've got like a dozen of us talking about it from our particular way, and then having dance parties every day.
Yay, dance party. Well, there's already a few of us
so
going on a
fun.
cruise in March, so let's anybody wants to come, let me know. Email me. That'd be cool if it came together where we can just we had like speakers go up and just talk about this, because it's fun to express this. There's a joy in expressing, and I think that's why I do these Zoom calls and mirror sessions with people. I know something just like, it's almost like I could not do it. Like it's like the point where it's just it wants to come out or something. I could just sit here but it feels like a pull coming through to express, or something wants to express what this is. It's almost like it feels like a calling almost. Does that make any sense? Does anybody ever feel that, or is it just Rob's world here?
Rob's world, party on.
You guys are all playing.
You guys, like, does that work for you? You guys are younger than me and Rob. Do you guys know Wayne's World? The movie? Okay. No, Jenson does. Got to watch it, Jenson. Movie Wayne's World. It's all there. All this that we're talking about, all you got to do is watch Wayne's World.
Yeah, it all makes sense to you. That like we can't figure it out. Watch Wayne World. Now I understand.
But Sid, I'd be interested to hear what you come up with for this presentation, because I mean, who doesn't love bliss? But like just on the spot, and like right now, I don't know if it's like a woman thing. Like, oh, I'm sorry, but I'm just very blunt, so excuse me if it's TMI.
There's no filters.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like a woman hormone thing, or I'm just like going through something, but like lately, just this brain is not quite up to speed with bliss. So I'm very, very interested to hear what you come up, like what your presentation comes out to be.
Me too.
We all will wait. This is the bliss right here, guys. This is it right here. This is it.
Yeah.
It's just disguise, it's consciousness disguise right here.
Everyone looks so cute in their little squid, like little boxes. Just
Easier put your
in their
like,
little Was today supposed to be Wear Blue Day? I didn't get the memo, guys.
oh, I got the blue.
I
We're
I'm
all
in
blue.
lavender. What happened?
Dress code, next call, everybody in blue. Hey, for Halloween, we should all dress up.
That would be funny.
Let's have a Halloween effortless being call. I wonder what we would come at.
Isn't it funny? It's almost like we're doing that now, like we're all in our disguises. Oh, I'm disguised as a Bowen, and I got my headache, and I've got this, and Jenson's. It's late at night, and Sid and Rob, we just woke up, and we're blah
Oh,
blah
my
blah, and hey,
coffee.
Sid.
I was
I,
just thinking that too, like RuPaul, the drag queen, he's like, life is drag. Like everyone's in drag already, you know? So like we're just consciousness in drag.
you should all dress up like
But what?
drag queens.
But what if it's not? This is the either or, right? And it's like, oh, we're in disguise, or we're kind of obscuring this in drag. Like sometimes it's fun, and this is what I guess this is what I'm opening more and more to, like saying the drag is the beautiful expression of this. The
Yes.
drag, and even someone in a military uniform being, oh, there's no bliss here. It's like, oh, you just fall in love with that.
Mhm.
I saw this one
Mhm.
interview somebody was doing, and I turned it on, and the guy had his shirt off. He was like kind of like me, like he's got like the dad bod, He just had his shirt off. He did the interview. He's like, "Just being, this is just consciousness in disguise. I'm just free to be me." Like, it's just, you know.
But on one level, that's the truth of it all, right? The beauty of what we are, the innocence, the radiance of, someone that looks like Tom Cruise or someone who looks like me and Rob, or,
Come on, say
this
dad bodies are in. What are you talking about?
50 something's not in great shape, you've already lost your hair. I'm losing my hair. What? What?
Yeah, I got to the point where it was just like parting here. I was like, "Am I trying to fool? Just shave the whole thing." I'm like doing the part over thing. Just shave it all. Fooling anybody?
But But for another perspective, could anything be more beautiful than
Oh,
like Rob just as he is? We're like, oh, he'd be more better if he had more hair. Like really, really? Or Sid not having like, look at my neck, it's gone horrible in my 50s. Like, what the hell? It's like, but really, I mean, could it be? Is this radiance? Could it be more beautiful than what it already is, and what we are, just as we are?
it's almost like you can see the beingness, like when you're talking, like I see the beingness in you, like the purity of the innocence, or the silence behind you, or consciousness in you. Like I see you as whole and complete. I see you as the infinite being. When I look at you, and it's like you're in this costume, like this actor, playing out these roles, and it's adorable.
And I mean, your expression, Rob, is one of my favorites. When you call it the mirror sessions. Mirror, what are you mirroring? But just that, just like what you just did to me. I mean, to get to mirror that to everyone, if everyone got mirrored in their like radiant beauty that they are, whoa, what would that world look like?
Beautiful world.
Hmm.
It's already beautiful because I only see it that way. I just see the beauty in all of it. I see the beauty below the costumes. We're all wearing costumes, playing our little roles of the character, which doesn't exist. But there's still a feel sense that we're having the experience. But from beingness, it's all one beingness. Depends where you're looking from.
I find I'm touching an edge here of speaking just as Rob's speaking, of speaking the radiance, the beauty that we see, that we are. It's like to speak that, to even speak that, oh God, I just, I see your, the idea that it goes against a lot of our cultural stuff that, well, no, if you get this neck cream, your neck is going to look so much better. You'll have the neck that you had when you were 20 years old. And these things across the top of my head will disappear. And then I will truly shine, like, Rob says. But then, like, to see past, or as Rob says, see past that and just see the radiance, the perfection that's here. I can find, it's like that's almost heretical sometimes. It's heretical to see the perfection, the beauty that we are.
What do you think, Jensen? What's coming through for you over there?
Yeah, I think when I had a call with David Bingham, like for months, I was just looking outside and just appreciate how beautiful everything was. And, and also realized it was all happening within me, within I, and it was just watching people walk down the street. That was just that was such a beauty in that scene. And yeah, it's inherent. The beauty is inherent. It's innate. And we can all recognize the beauty in others very easily.
Beautiful. Have that land said.
That's what I was trying to say, Rob.
Oh, Jensen said it so beautifully. Or consciousness, whatever. It's like, don't give me the credit. And sometimes when people listen to these calls, they're like, "Hey, Rob, I noticed a couple of times there was like silence in the video I was watching." They said, "Did something happen?" And then they're like, "Oh shit! Oh, it's just that you guys were in the silence." It's like, whoa! You know, I didn't realize, but they said the silence felt that it felt like profound to them. Like, whoa! Like it's almost like the silence was doing it all. The healing was in the silence, or the completeness was in the silence, or the unity, or something.
Yeah, it's like what we're talking about, sort of like a muddy pond water, And when we talk about it, we're very gently making the water clear, very close to it, and then when we drop into silence, then it just becomes just clear water. That's how I see it. Like we're just kind of tricking the mind to like calm down because we're talking about something that resonates to the truth of who they are. Just calming down, and then when we go silent, it's just like boom.
Can you feel it though? Like the silence when you're in it? Like if you feel that, like that, like the restfulness of it, the relief. That's what everyone wants. Everyone out there, when they're contacting me, they want the rest, they want the relief because they're in the mind, they're in the thoughts, they have these limited thoughts or these feelings about, what they are. They think that they're broken, or or they're going through something. And like Bo said to you earlier when you were expressing some of the things, well, who is it? Who is that that's saying that? It's good to question, like, who is that? Because when you question it and then you look in your direct experience, that's how it was for me. I was looking, it's quite, well, what is that that's saying that? You catch yourself, you're like, oh, well, that's just, it's not really here. It's just, Rob, the character, is a bunch of thoughts that are stringed together with a story. But when I actually physically look for it, it's just this, like right here. Mhm. And then there's a relief in that. Like, it's like, like, ah. And then you can have
What's the relief? What's the relief in it, Rob?
the relief is just the seeing through that you're not this separate person that's broken that needs to be fixed or whatever story or whatever movie is happening here in the mind. When you see it and when you realize you drop back as the silence, it's like there's the relief or the and it was always here. It's just that the attention went out and was identifying with the character. But then when there's a seeing through of the character, but then the relief comes. And it's just like, oh, it's just a movie play, so to speak. And then there's relief in knowing that. It's almost like if you're watching a movie like on TV, like my wife and I were watching some drama movie last night and we were so focused on, we were into it. We were playing the characters in it and we were feeling, we could see us. Like if somebody was watching us on the side, you'd see my face, I was going through all the emotions, all the emotions, like somebody just watching. It's like, what is he doing? Like, and if you turn and you watch the movie and you saw how entrenched I was with the movie, I was so involved in it. But the whole time I'm just sitting on the couch. And then when the movie was over, I was like, it's as if it never happened. I was always right here the whole time on the couch, fine. And it's almost like that movie never even happened. It's almost like you woke up from a dream and the dream never happened. Yeah, you experienced the dream when you were in it. And you'll hear some non-duality speakers say, well, nothing ever happened. How does that land in your systems? I remember one time I was being interviewed on Nothing Media. As we talked about this before, Sid, like there was Emerson had started that up, the Nothing Media, and then Luciana was um, one of the other speakers. David Bingham had interviewed with her first, and then David sent me an email. I was like, "Hey, you want to do an interview with Nothing Media with Luciana?" Because he had just done one, and David Farmer did one, and he's like, "Yeah, this will be good." And so then I went and I did an interview with her. And then when we were on the interview, she was talking about a time when she was with one of her kids and they were looking at a place or something where she had grew up. And then she reflected on it and she said, did that ever even happen? Because the house was gone, that was gone. And it was just like but in the now moment, it was like it only came alive when she thought about it. But she looked at it like, did it even ever happen? And when she said that, it was just kind of like, it was like kind of this review of Rob, the character, doing all of his things. And I'm sitting here right here as the silence in this moment. And it was like a movie like playing that just had played and everything just dropped. And it was just like right here the whole time. And then when she said, did it ever happen? The character Rob got really frightened. Like, what do you mean? I never did all those things. Like, how about those three girls that I raised? How about, I was employed here and went to college there and I had this business and oh, that never happened. My wives, my kid, like, and there was almost like this, like the character was getting frightened or Rob, oh my goodness, this didn't happen. And some of it was good too. It's like, oh, when I was a child, all that conflict I grew up around didn't happen. Then the character felt relief, like, wow, those the struggles I had as a kid, growing up and the conflict, in family life, and then getting cancer when I was 18. I mean, going through the chemotherapy, none of that ever happened. It was almost like a relief there. How does that land in your system, Sid?
Sid, okay. I think I'm a pretty assertive activist for the both and on this one. The relief. Dorothy wakes up in her bed and it's like, wow, it was just a dream. Here I am. And it's lovely, right, to be able to touch the timeless now. I mean, Eckhart speaks of just this now. There can be no problem in the now. There's just the fulfillment of being. There's just um, there's just Jenson's word, knowing and being inherently full and complete, or just the here-ness. And it's just wow. And it's just thought and wow, the cancer, the family, the difficulties. It's just the timeless now. Um, and what's the like then where's the fun in that? I mean, it's like this rich life that Rob has experienced, your daughters, your being in experience of being in love with your wife, this lifetime together, all these experiences, even the cancer, all of it. It's like something savors like this gift of a life and time. And so for me, it's like fully oh, to know what Jensen, to know that I think with time sometimes, just the timelessness of here we are. And so the folks that say nothing ever happened, there's no one here, nothing ever happened. It's like turning the volume of that timelessness so high, and it's just whoa, here it is. It's just this raw beingness. And it's like wow, how cool to know that and be that. Like you said, something gets to relax. It's like just that whoa, there it is.
Yeah.
And then the full immersion in being with people we love, stepping out on the beach, feeling the sun, feeling the like what Bowen saying that my head aches in. I'm still like only a part awake. It's like all of that. It's like, whoa, this is so weird. I slept, but it's like it's just that's my response. I love the both and.
The bow. How does that land for you, Jensen?
I got nothing to add on that. It's just beautiful.
That's
Yeah.
perfect. Bo, anything coming through?
No, I was just thinking about how weird the concept of time is. Because
Mhm.
I think the individuals who say, like, did it ever happen? It's because they're so immersed in the now that, like, I don't know. And I'm kind of in that school of thought where there's a belief here where I do think time isn't linear, but we're experiencing it linearly. And like everything kind of already happened, but we chose to kind of jump into this bubble of massive existence and we're just like, dude. And then like the forking paths, like, even right now, there was a probability that I could have gone off the Zoom, but consciousness in me chose the path that stayed on the Zoom. So like, I don't know. I was sort of just having fun with my mind, like, oh, this is so strange. And like, I don't know, sometimes when I am super in the moment, I kind of forget who I am, as in like the human me.
Mhm.
So I agree with Sid, it's like the and both or and thing. Because there's also such a rich um character we all get to play, and that the character is all based on history, what has happened. So it's very strange. Like we're hauling these avatars around with these individual characters, but then all the while, we know that it's all this like amazing, beautiful game slash movie. And it feels so real. Like
It
it's
does.
unreal. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. We'll just do a little quick roundtable. Anything last minute, Jensen, before we close out?
Yeah, like before uh before studying non-duality, like if someone said time doesn't exist or there's something timeless about anything, I, I couldn't have, understand any of that because normally we experience right now it's 9:30 p.m. in Korea. It's it's 8 a.m. in the US, and but once you just focus on the awareness, once you just focus on the knowing that has never been affected by time, and by meaning never affected by time, it has never changed. It's unchanging, it's never born, it won't disappear in any moment. Then you realize your own eternal nature that is timeless. And it's so amazing to be able to be a human that will die in 100 years, but also also the awareness that won't die, and it's just timeless. Yeah, so that's just a beautiful experience.
Beautiful expression. Felt that. Bo, anything?
No, I feel like I just said a bunch right before Jensen spoke, so I'm
Okay.
good, but I love what Jensen said.
It was perfect, Jensen. It spoke over here. I felt it. Sid, anything before we close out?
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna go with Bowen's. The amazing, beautiful game slash movie. I'm gonna shorten that to the this amazing, beautiful life. Period.
That's a good place to close
Mm.
out. Thank you all for attending. Till next time. Bye.